If you can set up a Christmas tree in your store, all the better. I'm going to share with you a couple of really good ideas on displaying the Christmas tree very easily, and the ideas are free first time. But if I've got to show them to you a second time, it's going to cost you, okay?
Mark, it's a DVD.
Oh, so they can play it again. Great. You always ruin my day. Well, it's Spirit of Christmas, so we're going to share these things with you. First thing, when you get the fairies or elves in the boxes, they're pretty tight in there. They kind of look like that. They don't look that great. You want to be sure that you fluff them out. When you do fluff them out, you're creating some energy, you're creating some drama, you're creating some movement, you're creating some excitement. That's what we want. Let's tell a story. Have your fairies and elves working on a big project, just like I've got these elves here passing up ornaments to decorate the tree. I love here the scale that this creates when we put a disproportionately large ornament in an elf's hand. It just creates magic. Also, fly some fairies outside of the tree. That's what their wings are for. You've got two fairies here, and the garland is being put on the tree, so that's what they're interacting with each other. Use them as your tree topper, as I've got the tree topper fairy up there. Again, it creates some magic on the top of your tree. It's actually pretty easy to create some magic on your tree and in your displays. Sometimes it's a bit of a challenge coming up with the ideas, but telling the story with our displays really does become a lot of fun, and it actually says quite a bit about ourselves. Don't be afraid, just roll up your sleeves and try it. Okay, fluffing and posing your fairy is real important, so let's do another one. We're going to do the small ornament fairy. Take this noisy plastic off, and I'm going to use this box, and I'm actually going to show you how to use the box in the display. Again, first we're going to spread everything out, so we get him all spread out, so we can fluff him out properly. The wings, again, we're going to want to cut this wax tissue off. It comes off pretty easily, but just one or two cuts, and it helps it come off a little bit easier. Okay, we spread them out. Look at this great little tail. I'm going to show you a fun little trick with this in a minute. And we've got this. Spread out the legs, spread out the arms, spread out the hat. Now, first thing we're going to do again is the wings. We're going to spread the wings out first. These have a different type of wing. These have a fairy wing, where the other one was a bumblebee wing. Spread out the wings first. Notice that they're still pretty flat. Now's where we bring the magic out in them, and we're going to curl them. All the ones on the right, I'm going to turn towards the right. And all the ones on the left, I'm going to turn to the left. This brings out a lot of depth in the wings all of a sudden. Creates a lot of magic. Creates a lot of movement going on. This is what's a lot of fun about these. Now the hat, this is a small hat, so I'm going to use one finger and I'm going to wrap it around like that. Another thing that you could do, I'm going to undo it for a second, and I'm going to grab my Sharpie pen here. You could wrap it around a pen if you want. It's actually easier for me to do it with my finger, but we'll try it with the pen and see what works. There we go. Now again, I'm going to do the anatomically correct positions, which is the hip joint, and the knee joint, and the hip joint, and the knee joint. He's got long toes. I want to curl his toes. Curl his toes again here. Pull up the arm, this arm here. Turn the head a little bit. Arch the back, as I did before. I'm going to pull this all back again. Flex his back and arch his back a little bit. And now I want to show you this other little trick here. Let's get this registration card out of the way for a minute. I'm going to use the Sharpie pen and just curl the back of his coat like so, and create some movement with that, and watch then what I do with it. I'm not done with it yet. Curl it up, and then I'm going to uncurl it just a little bit and loosen that curl. Get some nice movement going on. A nice clean line is really what I'm looking for here, and that's just what I've gotten, is a nice clean line with him. I would then use that paper clip that I talked about earlier and clip the registration card to the back of his coat like that, and you would then either fly him or sit him. I'm going to show you a fun little trick though that you can do with him also, and that is I'm going to put him on a box here, which is just the box itself, and I'm going to do a different pose. I'm going to take the existing pose that he has, and I'm going to pull the arms back out for a minute, and I'm going to arch his body this way and put his hand up on his head like that, like he's watching TV, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing. Cross the leg over him that way. I'm going to actually let this ornament be part of our balancing here. And put the card back here again. And this makes for a great pose that you put on a mantle, on your shelf, on your table, where the fairy is looking sideways. Maybe I need to adjust his head a little bit. Don't be afraid to play with these and move them a little bit, because that's where you get the movement going on. With the hands and the legs and everything. You still see the curl of his cape back there. You still see the magic of his wings. You've got his hat and the tail from the hat coming off. This creates a lot of movement and a lot of magic. That's the idea with these. Another one, same guy. Easily repose him a little bit, and I'm going to sit him. Sit him like that, put the legs down, and I like to give him cross his legs. It gives him just a little bit of attitude. This is kind of fun. And then you just got to find the field of balance on him. These tails are going to work real nicely for me, though, because I'm going to be able to allow them to help me create some balance, as is the ornament that's in his hand. Well, they don't like to cooperate because they come from the North Pole and they're difficult sometimes. All you got to do is find the field of balance, and so there it is. It's pretty easy. This was unrehearsed, and yet you can see the magic that happens. You just got to play around with them a little bit, give them some fun poses. Of course, you can put them on the stands, but you don't always need to put them on the stands. So there you've created a little bit of magic. Now, you can fly them from a chandelier, sit them on your mantle or your bookcase, or you can use these great stands to display them with. People love these stands. Unlike the rather cumbersome old-fashioned doll stands that have been around since like maybe the Stone Age, I specifically designed these stands particularly for my fairies and elves. All I did, very simply, was incorporate a small little tube in the small of the back for each of the fairies and elves that you can easily nestle the fairy right onto the stand. Now I'm just going to have to change his position from sitting to standing, give him what I would call a fanciful pose, creating some movements and animation. And you don't have those ugly wire bars wrapping around his chest. Rather, you clearly see without distraction his amazingly detailed and tailored outfit, which that's what your customers are coming in for, is all that magic. So be sure to use these stands. Be sure to fluff them and pose them out real neatly. Look at the great interaction of all the fluffed out fairies and elves, and they just look really good together. You can group them together. I'm going to grab some of the tent cards and put them on them. The Drummer Boy elf, the Hollyberry elf, and the Fanciful Fairy. These are the ones I have right here. And see how they're all grouped together. Creates a story. They're kind of interacting together. Yet at the same time, notice that I have them together and yet separated. Here are all the elves all together coming across the side and the front. And then the fairies I've got on the other side coming through the middle, and the flying fairy at the very top up there. You definitely want to fly some of your fairies. People love seeing them flying. Create some magic again. Okay, I hope that we inspired you today, and you've got some good ideas that you can take to your store, that you can have a good time with, that you can have fun doing displays, rolling up your sleeves and just getting started and getting it done. You're going to have a lot of fun doing it, and you think so? Yeah, I think so too. Have fun, enjoy, and be successful.